If anyone's in here, can you move this light up here? Can you make this light swing? This is just a phone. I'm just recording. It won't hurt you. If you're here, can you swing this light for me? If there's anyone in here, can you swing this light for me? This light right up over my head.
Yeah, it's funny because I write about ghosts. You know, ghosts appear in my fiction. And a ghost to me is like if you see something out of the corner of your eye, then you look back at it, it's not there anymore. And, you know, with all the sort of mobile technology and cell phone technology and, you know, cameras everywhere, I sort of look at it like Bigfoot. By now, somebody should have snapped a picture of something, right?
I ask people, do you need your brain to be yourself, or is it irrelevant? It's kind of just an afterthought or something you might use occasionally. No, you actually wouldn't be you if you didn't have a brain. If we damage your brain, you're not you. So once your brain is dead, I'm sorry to say this, you're gone.
There are psychological ghosts, but I don't think there are self-driven entities that, or of loved ones or people that have passed on, or, you know, the more contemporary view of what a ghost is.
Did you hear that?
I just want to request in your film that you don't paint me as a magical thinker that believes in this kind of stuff.
Am I allowed to use that fan that's right back there? That's a hand fan.
Carry it with me for it.
Okay. That woman had water coming out of her pits. I can't believe that. And she let him put them on camera. I don't know about that.
Who is
June,
it?
come
Oh.
look at this. Look at this. June, come here. Come here, look at this woman. She's dripping out of her pits, June.
I like that you're doing a whole scene.
My name is Knickerbocker. I am a paralegal, and I've done that for the last 30 years. And I also own a business that I have in a hotel, and I do it as a rental business. The hotel is called the Knickerbocker after my married name. In 1978, when I moved to Pennsylvania, I had to come down through this town to do my laundry. I decided I was new to town. I didn't know anybody. I have no children, so I didn't have any like girlfriends or anything. But I saw two bars, and I wanted to get a cold adult beverage. I was a married woman, and this over here, this building that we're sitting in right now, was more of a family type of a dinner place. I walked into the front door. There was the bar on this side. The dining room was down the hall. I could hear people in the bar, and I looked up the stairwell. And when I looked up the stairwell, at the top of the stairs, there was a light hanging. It was a long hallway, and to the one side there of the hallway, there was a room. The light was on, and I could hear some people in there. And then I just kind of waited to kind of think what I was going to do, and I actually heard, "Peggy, help me."
An international psychic, Bernice Golden, also known as the legendary psychic, since I've been at this for 52 years.
What's in store for the big picture for the coming year? Bernice Golden will give us her predictions when Nearly Noon continues.
It's been my entire life, my entire career. I don't know how else to say that. I love God, I love life, I love people, and I knew I had to help. And my way of helping was doing readings, whether it be by person and by phone, from all over the world.
We invited psychic Bernice Golden to share her thoughts with us today. Welcome back. What do you see for 1989 in the big picture?
Let's take a look at Buffalo itself a little bit, Danny, because I'm sure many people are very concerned about Buffalo. I do feel a little trouble with the water tower, which seems to be maybe a bit strange, but I feel some difficulties, and a large water tower right in the suburbia areas, which maybe they would like to look at, because when we find that we're talking about psychic aspects in life, we're finding them things that maybe can be changed or altered.
Okay. I think I know the water tower. It's a real old one?
Yeah, because I'm feeling there's, it
gonna
could
fall?
be a real problem, and it should be looked into a little bit further.
Channel 4 News, Nightside, #1 in Southern California.
And good evening, everybody. Topping our news tonight, a film producer, Toby Halicki of Gardena, is dead tonight after a stunt went off prematurely on the set of the movie he was filming. The stunt on the set of the movie, Gone in 60 Seconds 2, being filmed in Buffalo, involved a tractor-trailer ramming cars before colliding with a water tower. However, it collapsed prematurely, snapping a cable which severed a telephone pole that hit Halicki. A few days earlier in Buffalo, he talked about the stunt that killed him today.
When I lose the tractor-trailer, which is what I'm supposed to be driving, I hit the tower with it, it comes down. I did the helicopter liftoff where I'm hanging from the helicopter, and he drops me on top of a building.
Paramedics rushed to the scene as Halicki's brother applied CPR. Toby Halicki's new wife arrived just in time to see her husband being taken away to the hospital. The 48-year-old resident of Gardena was pronounced dead on arrival from massive trauma.
Years ago, Carla Benedict was a Lockport detective. And she called me about a young woman. And I told her where I felt the body. I told her what I felt they had done to her. I drew a picture, a sketch of the suspect. So she took all this information to the captain. And the captain said she's crazy. Yeah, total crazy. They found the body 3 foot from where I said it was supposed to be. And they found the suspect, and the picture that I drew was him. I've already given away my age, so I guess I can. I'm 71 years old, and I can go back a long way as far as who I've been with. The Bushes, Reagan. Nancy Reagan is the most brilliant woman in the world. Nancy Reagan would have given her life for her husband, without a doubt. And pay attention to what Nancy Reagan says, but pay attention mostly to everything you don't hear.
So if you could start off just by saying your name and where you live.
Bob Cranmer, live in Brentwood, and have been here since 1988. When we moved into this house, we weren't in it 2 or 3 weeks before we started to experience paranormal activity. We came to the conclusion at that point in time, in the early years, that we lived in a haunted house. I directly asked the owner of the house if in fact there were any problems. I didn't even have to clarify that question. He knew I didn't mean plumbing problems or electrical problems because his response was, we had mass in the living room twice in this room. Later on that next spring, as I was planting flowers in the front yard, I dug up a small box that had religious medals and a set of rosaries in it. And I called him and asked him, what was up, with it, because it clearly had not been there a long time. It was like a Sucret's box or something. And he just said, please bury them back where you found them and don't ask me any questions.
I believe there is a dark presence in this house that comes out sometimes. There's been investigations that have happened here where people have been scratched. You know, we let people know what they're getting into before they come in here. My name is Daniel Klaes. I own the Haunted Hinsdale house here. The exorcism was actually performed in this room over here. There used to be a room right here. You can see on the floor how the wall used to come out to here, and there used to be a door here. They actually exorcised the whole house, but Laura, the daughter, was the one that was possessed, supposedly. You know, we have a lot of articles back and forth from the mother to the priest at St. Bonaventure.
I didn't want to go down to the first floor to use the bathroom by myself. So I'd wake up my former spouse and be like, hey, come with me. One time I woke him up in the middle of the night. We go downstairs to go to the bathroom, and we both hear somebody whispering in a different language. We both heard it. You'd be sitting in a room watching TV or something like that, and the door would slam. Whenever I was there home alone, my husband worked late nights, and I'd be at the house alone with the dog, and it would sound like somebody came home and was moving around the house. One time it sounded like someone came into the house, was walking around the first floor, and went to the bathroom. And I went downstairs. No one was there. The dog didn't want to go down the stairs. And we got freaked out and just left and went on this hiking trail until my husband came home from work, because it seemed more comfortable and safer to be on the train tracks late at night than it was to be in the house.
How many seconds were you viewing it?
I'd say maybe 2 or 3 seconds, because I thought, you know, one of these guys was up there, so I said, okay, they're up there, and then start going up the stairs.
Okay.
But it came in there, it bent, came back up, and just disappeared, like a fluent action, like it, you know, like it just meant to do it.
Okay.
So what you have to.
Yeah, we'll have to go up there and pack up one more thing.
But everything in the back's turned off.
Okay.
Everything in the back's turned off.
You do sound like you get a little bit nervous sometimes.
What happens here, I know happens. It's not, I don't make it up. I'm not a paranormal investigator. I don't set things up. I don't, put a recording someplace, or I don't play with it. I let it be what it is. And we say, you come here to explore the possibilities. I hum a lot when I'm in the building because everything's talking to me. And so I hum in order to not participate in all of it. Because it's a lot. It's a lot to take in. And that's my own personal experience.
So the parents lived in this part of the house, which is a nice little bit nicer of a suite, I guess, if you will. Mary's room is right here. This is the room where everybody feels like, I've had psychics come and they feel like there's a portal in here. This is where all the energy comes from, and the spirits may come. It's like a revolving energy coming in and out of the house. So this is the room that they actually sectioned off, put a blockade right in front of it so nobody would go in the room, and it was kind of just left the way it was.
Why do they feel that this room was so dark?
They just feel like this is where it all stems from. Like, for some reason, if there was an area of the house, like, I don't know, you get, like, I feel a little short of breath just coming in here. I don't even like coming in here. They feel like this is where the energies are coming from. Numerous psychics that I've had in here are just drawn to this room right away.
I do believe in the Hinsdale house. I do believe there is a room in there that is a portal. My name is Heather Rease. I'm a psychic medium. I'm a sensitive. I'm a clairaudient, which means I hear different spirits, ghosts, angels, whoever are going to contact me, or whoever I'm doing a reading for, they'll contact me. But I'm also a channeler, so they'll write through me too.
What would have to happen to no longer make me a skeptic of the supernatural? I feel like I would have to see something. Or maybe if I heard something that was really convincing. I am interested to see this medium working.
I don't believe that anybody, like even the woman that we interviewed yesterday, who the medium that we're going to be going with today, I think that she honestly believes what she's saying, and that she honestly believes that she's hearing these voices. But whether they're ghosts or not, I think is a...
What is this? A fire truck?
I don't see it.
I feel like someone's trying to scare me.
It's really weird. Strangers in our town, get out. That's crazy.
Let's want to take a look at the pond real quick while it's still light up. Okay. Like, we don't have to do a session, we can bring our stuff. I just want to take a look and see where we can maybe camp out. A ghost is someone who has not crossed over into the spirit realm yet. They're still in that weird in-between gray area. If you go behind the house and you look, and there's that wood line where the woods start, they're showing me angels standing guard, like standing with their arms crossed like this, standing like almost elbow to elbow across the whole base of that wood line. And they said, well, we're guarding the woods. We don't want whatever's in here coming out into this area for the rest of the general public. Basically, they're trying to guard the wood line.
Crazy.
Nope. Yeah, there's definitely weird stuff in these woods. There's all different reasons to be stuck here as a ghost. I mean, sometimes you'll hear about old couples who, like, they'll be married for 60 years, one will die right before the other, and they'll stay in the house waiting for the other one to cross. You have things like that. Some will just be tied to a location, they refuse to leave it. They call it, also when they're angry, some people are just angry when they die, maybe they died or were murdered, and they're so angry they're hard to cross over, that and angels that are sent to cross them over, they won't leave yet. And they said they'll leave a portal for those people. They know they're there, they're being watched, they know that that ghost is still staying there. So they leave this thing called a portal, and when you go into certain haunted locations, you'll actually feel it. That you'll know where this portal is, but you'll pick it up on meters. You'll get this weird where they know there's like a lot of ghost presence.
Can you tell us what this is?
This is a spirit box. This is just as rapidly as you're hearing that clicking pattern is how many stations it's going through. Like, here, let me show you.
Different frequencies?
Yeah.
See how fast these numbers are going?
Yes.
Those are all radio frequencies. There's no radio channels up here, so you're not really hearing anything. If anyone wants to communicate, they can use this and talk through it. So if you're going to hear any voices coming through here, it's going so fast you're not going to pick up radio stations. Did you hear that?
Yeah, there's a lot of places I go to. I get invited to places literally around the world. And the Knickerbocker, I could, if I had to stake, there's only been a handful of places where, you know, if I basically was asked, could you guarantee this place is haunted? I would always normally say, no, I can never guarantee anything. This is one of those places I can say, yes, I can guarantee something. I've never, ever been here. I've been here several times, never not had an experience.
Did you say you had a box you could show us? Are you up for it? I don't want to.
Yeah. This is our gathering celebration. Get a hold of Glenn.
Yeah, I'll let Glenn decide where he wants to put it.
My name is Glenn White. I know Peg because I started coming to the Knickerbocker Hotel 5 or 6 years ago. And I came here to investigate originally and just became friends with Peg over the years. I am a psychic medium. I do a lot of different seance events, gallery events, things of that nature. I ask that everyone have their hands, both hands on the table at all times. This way, we all can see where everybody's hands are. We're not all gonna hold hands and sing Kumbaya. That's something they used to do. See, the generalized term of ghost is basically spirit returning. I do believe that spirit returns. With a lot of the work I've done, I've seen and experienced spirit returning, bringing messages, bringing different things, ways to say, I'm here, I exist beyond the physical form. Can someone validate, did something happen in that room?
The doll's shaking.
The doll's shaking?
The doll has been shaking for a while.
Yeah, since we started.
Yeah.
And there's no reason for the doll to be moving.
No.
The stand isn't unstable at all?
She's stable on that stand so that she doesn't fall. She's porcelain, I don't want her to break.
Yeah, she's shaking all over the place.
Yeah, she's shaking.
She's been shaking.
Maybe she's cold.
It was from...
I just figured it was like.
Oh, she's really moving.
If you wish to use the doll, can you raise an arm? Or make her stop shaking?
She stopped. She
Yeah,
just
it stopped.
Gotta love when it's directly behind me.
This is simply just an amplifier, actually. You can connect anything up to it. Police scanner, you can connect your typical spirit boxes, hack boxes. I'm gonna use apps that were designed to use with it. We're gonna start off in what's called a reverse mode. So essentially what we're doing through the app is it's taking like millions and millions of words, billions of words coming in through the internet, and it's scrambling them. So it's all going to sound like gibberish at first. We find sometimes it takes about a good 15 minutes
to
or
20
so.
minutes.
But sometimes the spirits really get the hang of it right away. So essentially what the spirit is doing is converting those words back to English or French or whatever. I've had them come through French if I speak to them in French. So when they're converting those words, at least you know you have spirit. I'm Michelle Desrochers. I own Canada's Most Haunted, and I do spirit research. My area of study are malevolent or alleged demonic hauntings. I do things very differently than a lot of folks out there do, and I get called upon for that reason from other groups. Are on reverse.
That was nice.
Got it.
My name is Glenn. When you are ready to communicate with me, will you please repeat my name for me? Glenn?
Yes.
I need you to take the words. Slow, right. You're getting the hang of it now.
Jesus.
She said low as well, then she says listen to us.
What is your
Is
name?
that on?
Yes, it's on. What is your name, please?
Yes.
She is.
Who is she? Can you please slowly and clearly tell me Who is the female that is speaking?
This house washer. No.
No. I hear the man like whisper talking, and I hear the woman talking clear. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Is there someone who was not invited?
Yes. But it's reluctant. You hear the hesitation?
He's here at night.
He was here with us at night.
I heard that.
Can you tell me? I just heard the name. The last name. Please repeat that.
He said it twice. He's trying to tell you exactly the same thing.
Susan.
I did hear it.
I can't say that there weren't probably ghosts in this house, but there was an evil entity known in Christian theology as a demon that was here, and it was not a nice thing to live with. Other religions speak of demons as well, but in Christianity, you have God, the Creator. You have His angels that are good, caring creatures that represent God, and you have Lucifer, Satan, chief of the angels at one point in time, rebelled against the Almighty God. 1/3 of the angels rebelled with Satan and were cast out of heaven. And they weren't cast into hell, they were cast to earth. And this planet became the realm and really the abode of the devil and the demons associated with the devil. Demons are organized in somewhat of a, as it's understood, a militaristic organization with, higher up generals and leaders and soldiers and minions, and each is assigned different tasks of perpetuating and causing or creating evil in the world. That's what a demon is, and we had at least one in this house.
Whenever I was a teenager, my family had moved into the home. So before I lived there as an adult, we lived there together. My friend and I, who had lived in the neighborhood, were really into Ouija boards and the supernatural and stuff like that. So we would play Ouija board. We'd play with the Ouija board. We'd make our own. We'd take it to the house and try to recreate hauntings or to make something happen in the house because we believed it was haunted. And as an adult, I moved in there for a summer. I was only there for 3 months. Initially, we were missing weird things. The very most important thing I find in my life is my cell phone and my cell phone charger. And whenever we had moved there, we put the cell phone chargers in an obvious place, and then suddenly it's gone. We don't know where anything is, and we can't find it. We can't find it for days. And you can't live without it. So we eventually go and purchase a new charger, get everything all set up. And then when we were cooking, we pulled out pots and pans. The chargers were inside of a pot in the kitchen in a cabinet. Yeah.
The house seems weirder to me. Like, I don't know, there's a lot of past history of weird stuff going on inside the house. They tell you to do base readings with these when you first walk into a room to make sure nothing in here is setting it off, like this microwave, or that's why I was checking, none of this is setting it off so far. Nothing seems to be setting it off. I just wanted to make sure it was working, so I was testing it with that. So yeah, it's
It'll
definitely
go off
picking
in
up
the
that
same
energy.
spot. When it does, it goes off in the same spot.
It'll also pick up electrical lines. So what they'll do is you sort of walk around the room, make sure it's not picking up anything, go to the electrical sockets or whatever else you've got. Like this is a power cord, see if it's picking up any of that. And if it's not, then you can put it down and ask questions and see if you can get it to light up. Then you know it's nothing that's
Right.
man-made that's making it go off. This room has a trap door. You're standing on it right here. This is a big hole that goes into the basement.
Oh.
So if you lift this carpet up, there's a lot of bad mojo down there.
I've always felt the building itself
Well,
was a portal.
I agree
And that
with
was
you.
the
She goes
lightning rod.
and
And she's the lightning rod. She's the one that, like a little amplifier.
What?
Yes, she is. I'm gonna reset, okay, guys?
I felt like, and maybe I was just misreading you guys, but you were trying to get to that someone came in, something came in with someone. What
That's
are you,
right.
What are you?
Yeah.
Why? What makes you think that?
Peg made mention that there seems to be somebody else that's come in here that's not of her usual spirits. So we're just trying to find who the stranger is.
Somebody, one of the people that come here to visit had come for a visit for several days, not to do paranormal investigations or anything, and they have never had an experience here themselves, never. And they had their very first one here. And then you guys came in and saw something up here, and other people come in and saw something up here. That hadn't been happening before. And
Completely out of the norm.
right, for this building.
Ever from this
Yeah,
building.
and strangers are seeing it. He saw something, all right? And this is after these individuals were here, all right? So we're trying to find out if one of the places they had been, that they picked up what's called a hitchhiker. Okay, and they take this hitchhiker someplace else, and then that hitchhiker says, "Whoa, I'm staying here." And we're going, "No, you going home." So that's what we're working on, trying to figure out what that was.
Because
And
Peg
so
asked us to try to use that as an area of concentration.
What's going on a lot of times is we ask a question. What we don't hear is, imagine a group of us on the other side, like sitting just like this, and a voice comes through and they're like, "Did you hear that? What are they talking about?" And you and me have a conversation. And what we're hearing on this side is you and me having a conversation.
I got you.
That's what we're hearing. So there's a whole bunch of conversation going on in the background before they actually answer. And sometimes what we've found is maybe a higher spirit will go, "No, you can't answer that."
But this place up here has always been problematic in respects to activity and energy because it is what it is, and so many come through. It's like a revolving door.
Isn't right here where the television came on that was unplugged? Right here.
And that's the room where the lamp came on that was unplugged.
So we thought this would be a good place. Do you want me to try it again? It's still on forward. It should go to forward mode now.
Hi.
Hi. Ma'am, what floor are you currently on? Ma'am, please repeat, what floor?
Demons can possess things, they can possess objects, they can possess places or buildings, and people. You know, the movie The Exorcist attests to a true story of a demonic possession. In the case of the movie, it was a girl. In real life, it was a young boy. So demons can possess people as well. In this case, a demon possessed our house. We come to the conclusion that we have a ghost in the house. And after a while, it becomes routine. And even as the children grow older, they come to realize there's something. And it wasn't something that we were all that particularly concerned about. It would manifest itself in these little trickery or things, but it didn't seem to be dangerous. But when this thing finally unmasked itself for what it was and really got aggressive, then I kind of put it all together. All these pictures would be turned sideways. It would take furniture and move it around. It would, like a child would go through the house and disrupt things. When things are flying through the air in the house, I mean, flying past your head, smashing into the wall, this is dangerous. This particular cross was in a room, and my son found it broken in half. This cross here was folded completely back on itself so that when I tried to straighten it out, it broke. I believe my son Charles wore this cross. He woke up in the morning and he was no longer on his neck, and we found it on the floor bent in half. Here is a cross. Now look at that. This is a cross that I never took off. And subsequently, over a period of time, it took on that shape as I wore it, that bent shape. And thus, when I turned to the Catholic Church and we began to confront it and to fight it and to try to cast it out, that's when things got really hairy, because it fought back.
We'll do another quick spirit box session, see what's going on with this. That's starting to light up again too. There's a lot of different things you can light up and make move and change on this table. If you go anywhere near this, it'll make this really cool noise and all these lights will light up. So you can come over and do this. You can mess with the flames if you want. You can make them move. Same with the incense, you can mess with the smoke. These will light up too. If you come near any of these little lights, it'll make multicolor lights. And this box too, if you talk into it, it's 95 minutes.
Just the one time I heard it. 89 guaranteed at the time.
But if you come near this box right here, you can talk into it too, and we'll hear your voice. So if you want to come forward and say something, thank you. They're lighting that up.
They're lighting that up.
Wow, thanks
Wow.
you guys. That
Wow,
was
you're-
amazing.
Yeah.
You guys, that's
Look at
incredible.
you.
4th of July.
Nice.
That's incredible.
Wow.
Thank you. Thanks, you guys.
That was super cool.
We know you probably see a lot of people come through here. Thank
Yep.
you.
The combination. You see that?
Thank you. You probably see a lot of people now, right? We're going to do a couple of little recordings if you want.
That has to be turned off. You're not going to do it yet.
Hang on a second. We're going to ask a couple questions real quick if you want to try and answer, okay? If that's all right.
Sorry. Who's with us right now? What is your name? Can you step forward?
You can set the lights off again if you want to. You can light these up if you feel like it.
Can you make a noise? A knock. Knock on the wall, floor, ceiling. Just make a noise so that we can hear you.
It's making the candles flicker though.
Who's with us right now? What is your name? Can you step forward?
You can set the lights up again if you want to. You can light these up if you feel like it.
Can you make a noise? A knock.
hear that? Knock, knock, knock.
On this? Oh.
It was like on the floor downstairs. It sounded like the basement.
Oh.
It went knock, knock,
I
knock.
heard it.
You guys got that.
Just make a noise so that we can hear you.
Ah, you hear that? Knock, knock, knock.
The way that I explain the things that had happened before is that it was a comfort to believe that perhaps there was somebody there that cared about me that I couldn't see or experience. I didn't investigate the experiences, I just took them at face value. What changed my perceptions about all of this was just increasing my education. So I went back to school and got my master's degree in professional counseling, and learning more about mental illness and people's perceptions and experiences in a course I took there. That's where I get a lot of my skepticism about it. Though it was building, the more education I got on the matter, the more it's increased. I didn't investigate the experiences, I just took them at face value. So why do I think the doors were closing?
So she's in Colorado.
Well, I didn't have a
do you
door
talk to her
stop.
still? Have you talked to her at all? She was very excited that I'm talking to you because she just thinks the world of you.
Well, that's good. My name is Joe Roberts, and I am an associate professor of psychology at Carlow University and chair of their doctoral program. I teach a class called Psychology of the Paranormal, and the course is designed to look at a variety of different paranormal and pseudoscientific aspects of our American life, and then bring the lens of psychology to it as a science. To say, like, so ghosts and ESP and like tarot cards and fortune telling and cryptids and UFOs and all these things, and then bring psychological aspects and empirical science to those problems to try to define, do they hold up? What parts can we explain based on what we know? What parts are still open to interpretation? And the funny thing is, a lot of the students usually get in that class because they're very high believers in the paranormal. And so I usually have to do a disclaimer at the beginning to say, like, I'm not expecting you to change your beliefs. And this class can cause you a little distress because these beliefs are usually very close to people. They hold them, I wouldn't say as close as religion, or values, but it's close, it's up there. I really enjoyed the part where she started saying, well, what else can it be? Often you don't have to come up with mysterious or paranormal claims. Science is fascinating, and things are really amazing in the world as they are, just based on what we know about sound and visuals and even people's perceptual abilities.
I'm Joe Nickell, and I'm a paranormal investigator, perhaps the world's only full-time science-based professional paranormal investigator. I actually work for a science organization and the Committee for Skeptical Inquiry. We publish Skeptical Inquirer Science magazine. We have Nobel laureates behind us. We're trying to actually look at paranormal claims from a science perspective. I do not believe in an afterlife. And in fact, the word believe is not a science word. Science isn't in the belief business. It isn't a matter of believing or not believing as far as science goes. What's the evidence? There is no evidence of an afterlife. The idea that your energy is a word the New Agers and ghost hunters use extensively. And of course, bless their hearts, they don't know what they mean by it. They have no idea what it is. So they're saying that your energy, your life energy that they imagine we have, sort of just gets up out of your body, doesn't need a brain, and can walk around and say boo for maybe a century. Well, this is, again, this is silly. This is not scientifically possible, but this does not deter people who believe that.
Not far from our house, about a mile, there is a convent of cloistered nuns. I had a relationship with the Mother Superior, and I called her. She directed me to a particular priest, a local monastery that claimed to have knowledge of spiritual issues. We did have the exorcism take place in the fall. I believe it was September, October of 2005. The activity in the house was dramatically curtailed, but there was still activity in the basement. So what we decided to do was to have mass in the basement, have a prayer session in the basement of the house. And our dog at the time, Sandy, who I felt could see this entity and would point it out at times. In fact, one time I took a picture of the thing, the dog was actually pointing to it. This is the picture of the entity. There's the dog. I'm standing right in the middle of this thing. And again, I couldn't see any of that when I took the picture. And that's taken with a standard 35mm camera. So we're all in the basement. The dog was, at the time, 16 years old. He couldn't negotiate steps. And he stood at the top of the basement steps and barked until I came up and got him and brought him down. There's a portion of the Mass called the consecration, where the bread and wine turns in the actual body and blood of Jesus. When the priest was saying, "This is my body, which is broken for you, and this is my blood that was shed for you," there was a very discernible knock on the wall from an adjoining room in the basement, the furnace room. It was letting us know it was still there. The dog wandered into the furnace room, and he went into his point and stare mode in that room. So I knew it was in there. So myself and the priest took the cross and the holy water, and we went into the room, and I feel we cornered it in one section of that room, and for about 25 minutes went through a whole series of prayers and commands and holy water and the whole process, and commanded that it was over, it's done, it ends here, it's done, you leave, and that was the end of it.
My name's Matthew Bowen, and I'm shooting sound for this weekend shoot. While I was sleeping, I had a dream, and the dream took place as, well, in the dream I woke up from the same room, same bed, and there was a spirit. He was, I don't want to say elderly, but he was probably low 60s, a little bit stockier. He was bald. He had a pretty decently sized head, a little bit bigger of a neck. The spirit asked me what cell phones were even for, and that he didn't understand them because he's seen them before, but he's never used one. And I kind of explained to him what they're for, and then last thing I remember was waking up, and it felt so real. It was unbelievable. I do not believe in ghosts. I believe a lot of stuff is mental fabrication, just like my dream. I want to believe this hotel is haunted. I haven't made that decision yet.
Do you think the people that we filmed last night are lying?
No. I think they're great people. I love every one of them. And I don't think they're lying. I think they experience things a different way than I do.
Human spirits dissipate after 250 years. When you go into hauntings that are older, like if you go into a house that's been haunted, it won't be as strong, you know what I mean? But if someone dies recently, that's why those, like say somebody dies in a house, say they're killed, murdered, shot, or whatever, that ghost will be really strong for the first like couple of years. You're gonna sense that person in that house, you know? And then as time goes on, it gets less and less and less because the spirit starts to dissipate.
I was with two people when they died, and at the moment of their death, not sort of the things that might occur afterwards, but at the moment of their death, their faces changed. You know, it wasn't like they were different people, they were the same people, but there was something about their face that changed, and I don't know what that was. Yeah, it was instantaneous, within 30 seconds. I don't know what it was, but I still wonder what it was. My wife died, it was over 10 years ago. And, it was a long illness and all that went with that. And when she died, I went through the process that everyone goes through during that kind of thing. I'd always feared that I would forget what she sounded like. And before she died, there was a voicemail that came to me and my son when we were driving somewhere on my phone. And the day she died, I had my son run out and buy an adapter because it wasn't as easy as it is now, buy an adapter so I could transfer her voice to my computer. So I'd always have it, because I've experienced death with a brother, and once you lose the sound of their voice in your head, something changes. And I know life goes on and all that stuff, but I was afraid of that. And months later, I was coming home, and this was in the daytime. This wasn't nighttime. It wasn't anything that would be considered a setup for that kind of thing. And I heard her call my name. And I can sit here and tell you that I swear that I heard her call my name. And I was coming in the door of my house, and I stopped. I looked around, and I knew she wasn't there, and all that. And I did a little research on it. I wanted to find out what it was that was happening to me with that. And I found some of the rational explanations for it, the logical explanations. The psychiatrist would tell you had an auditory hallucination. And that may be true, but I don't know. I was so convinced that I heard that. And months and months before that, I would sit in a room and I would wait, and I just think, okay, show me something. Is there anything that says you're still something, not just snuffed out, right? I was afraid I'd lose the sound of her voice. So I recorded it, and then much later, in the time I had mentioned, I had heard the voice without the recording. So what was it? I don't know. I wish it, I would like to think it was her, but I don't know.
This is a lineup of people. And can you see these okay? Are you allowed to be on watch? Okay, can you see these people? And then you can flip through and look at the other ones too.
I think he looks pretty close, but I'm not exactly sure.
That's my dad.
Really?
Show me.
My dad said that before he died, I'll see you at the neck. He did not say, you'll see me at the neck. And if that's who you saw, that's my dad. And the one you said resembled the most out of all of these individuals was my dad.
Do you think that was the person that was in your dream?
I'd have to go back and see how I described him in the video the other night, or the other morning. I love Peg, so I'm glad I made her smile.
That's really fun. Thank you so much.
Thank you for everything.
Today, my brother is having a viewing after he passed away. Everybody that knows me knows that when I'm upset or anything, I clean. My brother had pancreatic cancer, and he had a very short time before it took him. He only had maybe 5 weeks. And I was in here straightening, and I just have all my different things in here that I can work with and that I have to change out the hotel. I came from the front door there, all right, from the hallway, and I heard something drop in here. So I came in to see what it was because it sounded like wood or a block or something had dropped. So I came back in through and I go searching and I was looking, and right here this board fell and the word free was on that board. I'm not sure where that board had been actually leaning or was put, but I'm going to say I took it as a message that my brother says that he's finally free, because I really believe that that's what it meant. I love this hotel, and I love the messages it brings to me and brings to my friends, and I love when my friends have come here and had experiences, and I hope everybody out there understands that when you get a message, Spirit does speak to you. Spirit does come through to people. Believe it when you hear it, and don't deny yourself the right to experience it. Because you're meant to hear them if they want you to know something.
There's a spirit. He was, I don't want to say elderly, but he was probably low 60s, a little bit stockier. He was bald. He had a pretty decently sized head, a little bit bigger of a neck.
I shut my eyes, but sleep don't come, so I get up to undo what's been done. Sleepless nights and sometimes just ghost, whispering reminders to your soul. Suddenly everything seems more clear. That elephant on your chest has disappeared. What's gone has been left with satisfied, like I failed to play and wanting more. Don't you regret it in the morning. Sleepless nights and sometimes just ghost, whispering reminders to your soul. Loss is no more an earthquake. Those scars are fading and you don't hesitate to think of things that haven't happened yet. A fuzzy feeling all dusted with regret. I shut my eyes but sleep don't come, so I get up to undo what's been done. I shut my eyes but sleep don't come, so I get up to undo what's been done. Sleepless nights and sometimes just ghost, whispering reminders to your soul. Whispering reminders to your soul. Whispering reminders to your soul. Whispering reminders to